The trade deadline of the NFL is next week, and the Commanders have the third most cap space in the league. Does that mean they have the assets to make a trade? Not necessarily, but I think they should make one particular trade, and Jeremy Fowler came out with a report yesterday saying that the Commanders are monitoring the trade market. So, make sure you click the like button on this premiere. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Trying to reach 3,000 subscribers. As you're joining, make sure you come in, click the like button. Let's go ahead and get into today's video. So as I said, Commanders have the third most cap space in the league at $28.25 million. They can make a lot of moves right now. I don't think you should sell away your whole team. I don't think you really should be buyers at the deadline. I think you should be less aggressive and try to sell players. Now, sorry, I said $28 million. They have $26.28 million of cap space. Again, that is still third in the league. I think the writing's on the wall for the Commanders to make this one particular trade. Before we talk about that trade, we're going to go into what Jeremy Fowler said. So he said the Commanders are expected to monitor the market for key needs such as an edge rusher, per Jeremy Fowler. He said, however, talking with teams around the league, Fowler says that fireworks aren't expected out of Washington at the moment. They're not going to make any big moves, but I think a move may be coming. And A to Z Sports, Josh Taylor, comes out with another banger. He writes about the player that I think the Washington Commanders should trade. Noah Igbinoghene was reported earlier in the year to possibly be traded, possibly be a trade candidate from the Washington Commanders by Diana Rossini, as I said. She said that Noah Igbinoghene could be on the trade block, and they were shopping him like they were doing with Brian Robinson Jr. He has played 43 snaps for the Washington Commanders this season. 43 snaps. That's it. That's all. I think that is crazy. I think that is absurd, because he was supposed to be a depth guy that played a lot this year. He played a lot of snaps last year for this team, but he was supposed to be a depth piece this year that came in and played a lot this year. He has played 43 snaps this season. That's it for the Commanders. And last week, he saw his first game being inactive. They didn't even play him. They didn't even put him out there. They didn't even dress him. He was inactive for the game. They clearly want to do something with Noah Igbinoghene. That has to be a trade. Now, you could wait till the end of the year, and so what, right? You could wait till the end of the year, and okay, he's a free agent. But I think you should try to trade him now, get an asset for him. Whether that's a 7th round pick, whether that's a 6th round pick, anything is valuable for Noah Igbinoghene because he is not playing for this unit. You have Jonathan Jones now. You have Sam Risto. You have Lattimore. You have Amos. You have a lot of cornerbacks that can get it done for you. I'm not saying they're good, because they certainly have not been good, but they can come in. You just don't necessarily need Noah Igbinoghene at this point in his career. You can go ahead and trade him. You can go ahead and ship him out. That's the one trade I think that the Commanders should make. I think they should sell Noah Igbinoghene to any team. The Jags could possibly be a trade candidate. They need corners over there. Any team that needs a corner, right? There's been a lot of in-season trades for cornerbacks, for safeties. We've seen it. We just saw it with Kyle Duggar the other day, right? So there's been trades for DBs all around the league in season. Any team that needs a defensive back that could just play Noah Igbinoghene a little bit more than we are could use him. And we could get a 6th or 7th round pick out of him. Probably a 7th round pick. And you're getting that for a guy that's basically not playing. You can add to your 6 draft picks that you currently have right now. So I think Noah Igbinoghene is very, very expendable. I think with him being inactive Monday night, I think that shows that they will try to trade him. Now, from the report that Jeremy Fowler said, he said we're monitoring the trade market. He said particularly for a edge rusher. Now, I'm not going to go into big detail about this, but Trey Hendrickson is definitely on the trade block for the Bengals. Would you want to take on that contract? I don't know, but because it's kind of like a Terry situation. Nobody wants to take on Terry's contract, right? He said they could trade for an edge rusher. There's a few guys on the trade market. Again, Trey Hendrickson would probably be the top guy. You're not going to trade all your draft picks away for a guy like Trey Hendrickson. You're not really going to trade your draft picks away for anybody. It'd probably be a player swap for an edge rusher. Yeah, I mean, it would be a player swap. So he said they're looking for edge rushers. I don't really know who's available at the edge rusher position. You probably don't know who's available at the edge rusher position. So let's dive into it. As you know, Preston Smith, he's old, he's washed. He wasn't brought in here to play a bunch of snaps, and that's been the role he's been thrusted into. He's just not good. Von Miller, he's not fast. He's old, he's washed. That's what you expected out of these guys. You didn't expect to have them have to play. But now that DA's out for the year, Javonte Jean-Baptiste has sustained an injury, probably going to be out for a while. You have to find another guy if you want to keep your season alive. Some of the names that I've heard is, again, Trey Hendrickson, Jalen Phillips, Kayvon Thibodeau, Cameron Jordan, even Bradley Chubb, and Max Crosby's very unrealistic. Nobody's trading for him. Let's dive into some of these guys, though. Trey Hendrickson, he's been the headliner for potential trades. He's a very athletic guy. I mean, he'd be a guy that you're trying to revive your season. You're trying to go for a Super Bowl at that point. We're not going to trade for Trey Hendrickson. I will say that. Jalen Phillips, he provides, he's kind of like a depth guy. He's not, I mean, he would start on this team, but Jalen Phillips, Miami Dolphins edge rusher, he's all right. Like, you bring him in here, he's probably a piece that you're looking towards next year, right? You can build off of him. You can build off a guy like him. Kayvon Thibodeau from the New York Giants, we've seen him. He's a big guy. He can get to the quarterback. He's physical. He's an awesome player. Would not, mind adding him. But again, that seems very unlikely. Cameron Jordan of the Saints, he's old. I would not want to add him. He's pretty old. And again, that would be a move that is, and the Saints are selling everyone at this point, but that would be a move that you're just doing it for this year. Because again, he's old. Bradley Chubb, the Dolphins edge rusher, they're selling guys as well. He's been mentioned in a lot of trade talks. So there is a lot of trade deadline buzz before next week. And those are just some of the edge rushers you need to watch out for. There is a few receivers, cornerbacks you can watch out for. Let's see some more. So this is from ESPN. Let's see some more of team players for Washington, right? Wide receiver. You need a wide receiver. Like, you need a lot of things if you want to keep this season alive, but you also need things for next year. And there's a few guys available. So ESPN writes, Jeremy and Dan have the latest intel on what could happen with the Jets running back Breece Hall. He could be a trade candidate. Trey Hendrickson, obviously trade candidate. Jacoby Myers, trade candidate. They're all giving you news on them on the ESPN.com site. Who could be targeted at the trade deadline? Bengals linebacker Logan Wilson could be targeted. The Commanders clearly need short-term help at the linebacker, ESPN writes. Bobby Wagner's struggles in pass coverage have become common knowledge for opposing defenses. They also want to help or to walk Frankie Louvu down more into the edge as they did against the Chiefs. Wilson is in the back half of his career, but he would immediately fill some of the snaps they need if the defense does execute a mid-season turnaround. So this would be a mid-season move to try and go out there and get Logan Wilson. They also write about guys that could be expendable. First one is obviously Noah Igbinoghene that I already told you about. He was fine in the slot last season when he played 75% of Washington snaps, but the Commanders moved Mike Sanderstill back inside, signed Jonathan Jones, who's best suited inside, and drafted outside cornerback Trey Amos. So Igbinoghene has only played 40 snaps this season. Whether another team would give up a late round pick for him is another matter. Washington also has 2024 third round pick Brandon Coleman, who I don't know why is on this list, because Brandon Coleman has to now fill in for Laremy Tunsil, who's hurt. So I don't know why Brandon Coleman is on this list. They are not putting Andrew Wiley in the game. Brandon Coleman is probably not going to get traded since he has to fill in for Laremy Tunsil. He still has 2 years left on his rookie deal and provides young depth. Daron Payne has 1 year left on his deal, but he's playing well and could be dealt in the offseason, and that little portion was from John Keim. Daron Payne has a toe injury, right? Like, what is he going to provide teams now? Teams are not going to see the value in him anymore, I just feel like. So, really, I don't think the Commanders are going to make any moves at the deadline. I told you that. I don't think the Commanders are going to make any moves at the deadline. However, I think they should make that move at the deadline, which is trading Noah Igbinoghene. See if you can get a late round pick. Again, you're trying to add as many picks as you can. I don't think you should buy anything. You should not be buyers here because you could be 3-7 and you're just wasting draft picks. You're wasting draft capital that already you don't have a lot of. So I definitely don't think that you should be buyers at the deadline. I don't think it's that type of season. This type of season has been derailed by injuries. ESPN has also written another section for us here, so let's just read this real quick. Adding, subtracting, or sitting it out? Washington could stand pat, as I said. GM Adam Peters is known to embrace a good deal, and Washington has needs at several positions. Edge rusher, so expect that's the only position they list. So we went over the edge rushers who could be traded. So you guys have knowledge on that now. So expect the Commanders to monitor the market in the next week, as Jeremy Fowler reported. But teams I've talked to aren't expecting fireworks out of Washington at this moment. Again, that was from Jeremy Fowler. So Igbinoghene is really the only realistic move for this team to make. However, that is still a trade. That is still adding one. That still brings value to your team. So, top 3 trade candidates would be Brandon Coleman, Deron Payne, and Igbinoghene. However, again, I only think the one is getting done, Igbinoghene. It's very likely that Washington could stand pat. I've heard Brian Thomas trade rumors. We're not trading for Brian Thomas. I can go ahead and tell you that right now. I can confirm that right now. We are not trading for Brian Thomas Jr. We're not doing that. So you can, put your hopes down about that. Not here to burst any bubbles or anything, or to be a Debbie Downer, but we're not trading for Brian Thomas Jr. If you know the game of football, you know that's not going to happen from us. He's probably not getting traded overall to anybody anyway. So, that was a little bit of the trade deadline. Again, I think the Commanders should trade Igbinoghene. What is your say? Type it in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on this, but hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be having a video come out later. Probably going to be about the practice and the injury updates that we're going to get from DQ later this afternoon. I'll have another video, maybe a live stream if there's any breaking news, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But that's all for right now. Make sure you guys click the like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel on the way out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. See y'all later. Peace.